What's up? I just want to make a. I hope. Sorry. What's up? Hope we're all doing amazing. Today I just want to talk about how there's nothing wrong with you. There really isn't anything wrong with you. You know, sometimes we fall into sins. Sometimes we don't react in the way we feel like or think that we should. Sometimes we're human, man. Sometimes we just mess up. Sometimes we go to Jesus and we're like, crucify him, because when Jesus was about to be crucified, there was a choice about whether they should crucify Jesus and or either they crucify Jesus and they take back there was a guy, okay, back in those days, there was a time where they could release somebody that, it's like somebody's in jail and they're like, okay, on this day, and whoever is in charge one day is like, okay, on this day we'll decide, okay, who do you want me to release to you guys, and the people will decide who they want. So this is what was happening. So there was a guy called Barabbas who was there, and there's Jesus. And most times we are like, give us Barabbas, man. Sometimes we're like, give us the world. Sometimes we're like, yeah, we want the world, man. Sometimes we're like, yo, we want sin. Sometimes we're like, we want to mess up and do all these things. But you need to understand one thing, that it's really, really not your fault. There's really nothing wrong with you. You need to understand that we're born in a world, in a system that is just created for sin. It's created to divert you away from God. It's created in a way to make you hate God. Because why is it that when somebody talks about Jesus, it makes you angry? Just makes you angry. Like, what's so significant about it that it can actually alter your emotional state, man? Because I remember back in the days when I started hearing about Jesus, I was still sinful and all that. I would just hear about Jesus and it's like, you just get so angry, it's like, what? But then I realized that Jesus isn't really here to condemn us. So I'm just saying how a lot of the time we're like, we don't want Jesus, man. We don't want Jesus Christ, man. We want, give us Barabbas, man. And I just want to let you know that that's just how it is, man. The devil has had a lot of time to plan for when you would be here. He's been able to look at your bloodline. He's been able to see what's going on with the people that came before you, and he's like, okay, now I know how to get this one. I know how to get that one. Let's bring this. Let's test him with that, And it's not your fault, man. You need to know that there's a spiritual war going on for your soul, and the devil has been at this for a very long time. But you also need to understand that Jesus, he knows this. That's why he doesn't condemn us. That's why he doesn't just destroy us, man. Because sometimes we say that, oh my gosh, but he destroyed the people back in the days with the flood. You need to understand, the people of those times were literally corrupting themselves beyond. It was just like okay, let me just tell you, those people were literally going after strange flesh, basically bestiality. They were like going after weird ass sexual encounters, man. And the proof of this was when Lot, there was a time when some angels went to visit Lot. It's for the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. So now there are some angels who went to visit Lot, and so they went to visit him, and now the people there at the time, they saw the angels and they were like, yo, we've come to sleep with the angels. We want to sleep with the angels. And this is kind of how they were. They were just trying to sleep with anything, be it animals, be it whatever it is, man. Them, they didn't want to abide by the law of God. And so it's kind of what was happening at the same time as Noah. So that's why God just decided, I'm not going to continue watching these guys continuing this, man, because what the heck is that, man? I don't know how I'd feel if I got children and they were doing some crazy messed up ish, man. I'd also just wipe them out, man. I won't even lie to you. But that's kind of what was going on at the time. So God was like, I'm not gonna continue to watch these abominations. Go read in the scriptures, man. It will literally tell you, man. and even the proof of this was Goliath, man. You know, these people were literally sleeping with anything, man. So we got to a point where God just could not continue to watch this stuff go on, so he destroyed it. And that's why those guys at the time were destroyed. We are not really like that. I mean, we're kind of moving back towards that, because it says in the last days that it will be like in the days of Noah. People will be going after strange flesh. They'll be just doing whatever the heck they want to do. And it's kind of crazy, man. So I'm just trying to say, God, he's not just trying to punish people, man. There was a very good reason as to why he destroyed the people back in those days. Because Noah was the only one that was pure, who was still, you know, clean. I mean, not like sinless, but he was clean. He hadn't gone after strange things and done that, you know. And it's just crazy, man, how crazy this stuff really goes. You know, when you just live your everyday life, you just go about your day, you really don't understand what is really going on in the spiritual world, because you need to understand the spiritual world really affects this world. But the thing is, we can't see it. We can only feel or experience the consequences or the result of what is going on in the spiritual world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to say, like, God is not just trying to punish you, man. Like, he really isn't. There was a good reason why he did what he did at that time. But it's different now. We are still clean in a way. We are still redeemable through the blood of Christ. And you know, there's nothing wrong with you, man. It's okay. You know, like, I'm just gonna let you know, it's okay, man. You've fallen, it's okay. Don't even worry about it like that, man. You know, God is a God of love, of grace, and of mercy, of forgiveness. Did you know that God is a better forgiver than you are a sinner? He really is, man. Because the perfect example is me. I've messed up so many times, man. The life I used to live was beyond crazy. You know, I used to be doing all the crazy things, man. I used to be doing all the drugs, all that stuff. And if God was just trying to punish me and beat me and all that, I wouldn't be here today. But instead, what he did was he came to me, he redeemed me, he cleaned me up, and he said that you are my beloved child. And in the same way he told me this, I'm no more special than the next person. He created all of us equal, man. It's just that some people step more into that, more into who they truly are. Some people be out here living fake-ass lives, man. And then they watch somebody who's actually doing what they're supposed to do, and they wonder, oh my gosh, you know. So I'm just trying to let you know, man, like, God isn't just trying to punish us, man. He's really not just trying to beat us. He understands what is going on. He understands what's going on way more than you do. That's why his first reaction to when we mess up, to when we do the wrong thing, is not just anger and punishment, but it's he's willing to forgive you. He's willing to bring you back to himself. And the perfect example is of the prodigal son story, man. The prodigal son, there was a time where the prodigal son was like, you know what, me, I'm done being here. Me, give me what's mine. Me, I'm out. You know, he was like, yo, me, give me what's mine. Me, I'm out of here, man. So he asked the father for his stuff and he left. So now he went, he partied, he drank, he did all this stupid stuff, and he wasted all of his inheritance. And so now we got to a point where he was now about to eat with pigs. You know, getting to a point where he's now about to eat with pigs, man. That's crazy. So now he came back to his senses. He came back to his senses, and he was like, in my father's house, even the servants eat better than this. So he even said, you know, I'm gonna go back to my father's house. I mean, let's be real, man. The father probably be like, ah, okay, him is gone. You know, I don't even want anything to do with him. But so now the prodigal son was just there preparing this speech of how he's so sorry and how he's such a bad child and all these things, how he wasted what he was given. So he was like, okay. So now he decides to go back. Now he's going back, and the father sees him in a distance. So now the father runs over to him. The father runs to him. He embraces him, gives him a kiss on the cheek or something like that. And he tells his servant, go get my best robe. go put a ring on this man's finger, for my child was lost, but now he is found. He's back home. Let's party, let's celebrate, because he was lost and now he is found. And the reason this story is in the Bible, it's to let you know that Jesus is that Father, man. That Father is the representation of Jesus Christ in our lives, man. He's not. We often go astray. We often let him down. We often abandon him. We're like, yo, give me what's mine. Me, I'm out. Me, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. And Jesus, he's like, cool. He respects your decision. So you end up, you go off. But then it comes to a point where, like, in my Father's house, there is love, there is peace, there is joy, there is provision, there is care. You know, and so a time comes when you come to our senses and I'm like, oh my gosh, in my Father's house. So that's why that story is in the Bible, is to let you know that the Father reacts the same way, actually even so much more, because he loves us that much. He's not just gonna punish us, man. Oftentimes we go astray, but he's always ready, waiting with open arms, just like that Father, ready to celebrate when you come back home to him. I'm not trying to tell you that you now go do what you want, that you're free to go sin, and then come back to God and you're like, nah, man, it doesn't work like that. But even if you do, I'm just trying to let you know that God is the God who will meet you where you are, sins and all, failures and all, mess ups and all. He will meet you there, and he will clean you in his precious blood. That's why he died for you. That's why he let every last drop fall just for you, man. You know, they pierced his side and water came out. There was no more blood in his system left, man. And that was all for you, man. It was just for you. So don't be worried about, oh my gosh, but you know, I'm so not holy, I'm a sinner, I do this, I do that. No, the Lord didn't die for you to condemn yourself. Just like he told that lady caught in adultery, where are those who condemn you? And you look around, you're like, nowhere, Lord, because when you go to God, it's just you and him in that spiritual place. So even him, he looks at you and he's like, neither do I condemn you. How wonderful is it to know that there's a love like this waiting for you, ready to meet you where you are. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you haven't done, what you have done. If you're a murderer, man, I hope not. But even if you are, the Lord will meet you there and he will change your life. I've seen it happen, man. God is a God of miracles. He's a God that can change things for you, man. We need to stop taking God for granted. We need to stop acting like God is just some Joe Schmo over here over here, man. He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about it, man. Just go before the Lord and realize that he will meet you where you are, how you are, who you are. He will meet you there and he will show you the way with his loving eye on you. If it's forgiveness you will need, he will be ready to give it to you in abundance, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, man. See, this is a love you can trust. So choose wisely.